How's it going, everybody? This is Steven Jennings,
Alvapex.
and today we're going to be commentating a game of universes as a match between Steven Nan and Alessandro Venditti playing Nejire Hado and Jin.
This is going to be interesting. Pretty sure the Nejire is on life, unless we've seen other decks built on other symbols for her.
Yeah, and I think Alessandro's deck is on air, although I can't remember. Looks like Steven's going first, and Alessandro is sent back. I think it was four foundations or four cards. It wasn't four foundations, four cards, and while he's shuffling, I guess he just agreed.
This is going to be pretty interesting. From what I recall, the big Jin decks were built on either air or void, and at the moment I can't recall what the other symbol for Jin was. But
Yeah,
but
there's an argument right now that the Void deck is Jin's best deck, but we're gonna see what happens after the Las Vegas tournament this weekend, and I guess that will also help to be a determiner of which is the best version of Jin.
yeah, because I've seen trying to remember what cards Jin has on void. I know that Gran Torino's cards are on there, a couple of Mountain Ladies, the rest of the lurkers. Who else?
Well, he's got some of that Armored Guys cards as well. So
Mm.
far, looks like he's got Team Mosh out there, and yeah, Decoy Duplicate. They both were able to build out four foundations. I'm I'm liking, well, if Alessandro can get some momentum, he has at least one get out of jail free card for, let's say, an attack that is critical, so he doesn't even have to bother blocking the attack. Nejire is going to start in with an attack. Mhm. Yeah, and right away he's responding with Jin, or sorry, Alessandro's responding with Jin to neg the speed by two. And then I believe he's just blocked it nice and easy. And then there's so many different spiral cards here. You're gonna be seeing a whole lot of cards with this girl on, this girl's art on it. One of the cooler things with universes is all the characters seem to have all like the decks are seem to play a lot of the cards with the characters on it. So we got so we got Signal Spiral out there first, which is a 3 high for 5 and lose 1 health. If this attack is blocked, draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. It's a really good hand shuffling card, and it is like it's 5 damage. Believe Alessandro should have given it -2 speed. I'm not sure if he did with him yet, and then he's going to cancel. So he's going to probably cancel the with Jin to cancel the drawing 2 cards if it is blocked. Gets a damage pump on it, and then he's gonna a little bit of hand shuffle. So I'm guessing he's not liking Alessandro's not liking whatever cards he has in his hand to block with. You're absolutely correct. Um, Sorry, just a sec here. It seems that Alba's headphones died on them, so we're just gonna work to get those back up again. Um, so I guess they're just got some small enhances going on here. Alessandro does take the damage, but there's no card draw there. Well, it was. I think he's partially blocked it.
Oh, that is some impressive damage.
Yeah,
Let's see.
definitely.
That is an 18 damage. That was 5 on the base, buff with the Nejire. 8 damage in one turn. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a ton of health that he's lost there.
Is that another
Kikyo's.
attack?
Sorry.
Oh no, I was surprised for a moment. I thought he was playing another attack.
No, I mean either it's like he's already got 2 foundations down, and probably he's wanting to keep it a little safe into his box in there. I mean that's some of those defensive pieces are definitely starting to come onto the board. Okay, we'll see what Alessandro's gonna do here with his turn. Um, Jin can be a lot to handle, especially with the small foundation pool that Steven has right now, because every attack is going to come for at least +2 speed, and I'm not really sure what what is in his deck that is gonna affect the speed of this attack or the attacks in general. Like, what can he really do to stop him? But we'll find out.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting since comparatively the two actually play somewhat similar styles. Nejire wants to pump out a lot of damage, a lot of attacks really consistently. Jin also has ways of echo effects, of buffing his own damage. He's definitely got a lot of utility, and he has the bonus of having that cancel effect. With Nejire, though, I guess it's a question of if she can pump out enough damage and threaten enough blocks that you just bleed cards out of the Jin's hand.
It's very true. Alessandro's taking a little bit of extra time here, so he's gonna start off with some tornado attack here, and unfortunately, he's gonna have to tap a foundation for that.
Ooh,
And is he gonna remember to use Jin's response?
hopefully he
No.
does. He doesn't? That's a shame. I will say, I remember when Jin first came out, I remember a little bit of fear realizing that he was a mill deck, since at the time Endeavor was a character that people thought would be a bit of a dark horse, and realizing that Endeavor's cards crossed with Jin's effect would be utterly horrifying. But
Yeah.
nope, he doesn't match anything, thankfully.
So, yeah, for some reason, I think he's just not remembering to respond with his speed. Because if he did, he can give this card plus 2 damage, and then plus he's got the top card of his discard pile as a tornado card, so he's at least going to get the one free card draw off of that. Or it was. Yeah, I think he's gotten that one in his hand now.
Such a
Um,
nifty effect.
yeah.
Let's
So now he's giving it the speed, a damage bonus at the very minimum,
see. Good to remember that at least. Let's see. Oh, going to block.
and looks to be.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
is that a partial block? Oh, he's a tapo completely.
Oh,
Endoing.
wow.
I think he endo. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I think if he had responded first
Yeah,
to,
that's a partial block.
um, sorry, I think if he responded first then played the enhance, he probably could. Oh, we got a short turn here. So he
Okay.
only had one. He only had wanted to play out one attack. I think he's got another one poking around in his hand there as well. So just gonna keep it safe and play 3 foundations and then pass his turn. I mean, Nejire does punch a lot uh, whenever she's playing through her turns. So it is helpful to maybe get a little bit more gray wall over here.
Yeah, when it comes to Jin, his problem is that he can pump speed really high. So now it's a question of, is Jin going to be able to outspeed Steven's block, or is Steven going to be able to again push out enough damage? Life has a lot of card draw effects, so we'll see what comes out on top. For
Yeah,
Jin though, I wonder. He's still got Decoy Duplicate up, and he's got at least one momentum. So he's got one trump card just in case he needs it.
yep.
It's curious. I'm trying to remember what the other kind of get out of jail free cards, so to speak, there are on Jin symbols on air.
I
Let's
think
see.
he's opening up here. I think that is a spiral wave surge.
Ooh, that's a nice one.
Yeah, I could be wrong. Am
Nope,
I?
that does look like a spiral wave.
Well, he's got it upside down. Yeah. So one of the things that Steven does is whenever he plays an attack against you, he'll immediately uh, turn the card upside down so that you can read it.
I guess it's polite at the very least.
He's gotten really good at reading his own cards upside down, so he'll just turn the card towards you so that you know like what the attack is doing.
Something that I just realized now, looking through Nejire's card list and just going through it in my head, she's also on air. So, do you think the Jin list might take a couple pieces from her kit if it ever decides to go into air?
Possibly. Well, he just discarded the attack. He doesn't want any part of that.
Yeesh, none of that smoke.
Yeah, I mean, he could have pumped it up for 2 damage, and then if it's blocked, the next check gets +1. Your rival, for each card your rival is blocked with. That card is really good at the as an ender as well. And yeah, then nothing's gonna stop this man from just throwing out all Nejire face
He's
cards.
gonna send. He's just gonna keep sending you spinning and spinning and spinning. No hesitation here.
Yeah,
It'll be pretty interesting to see what comes out with Girl Power, since I understand that there's definitely going to be a lot of new cards on just Sim's little match with Nejire. It's going to be her new character card as well, so that'll be pretty fun to look at.
yeah, and she is coming out in that set, so
Yeah,
there's that at least.
It'll be nice to see a new character card come out. Let's see these life totals. One of them's at 16, the other one's at 19.
Mhm.
Pretty good amount of life so far. Though with these characters, you could just get bursted down out of nowhere. I've had matches against Nejire that were generally a bit unintimidating, but then I've had matches where I've just been staring down the barrel of an echoed attack with maybe like 8 damage per effect, which is
Mhm.
just nasty. And even if you have the cards in hand to block with, if you even have to partial block, it's just not fun having to have to go halvesies on it. Let's see. What other. Oh, I just remembered. One of the effects that she's also got on life, I believe, would also be Rejuvenating Punch, though I don't know if that's the one you'd want to run in this matchup. It's.
You could. I think she just generally is playing with her own kit there. So Alessandro, oh, he blocked the last one. Oh,
No, no, no.
so this is actually good. This will help to slow down Steven's really, really aggressive turns.
Let's see.
So
Oh,
and
incredible
actually just
display.
ended it. He's gonna throw out a foundation. Um, and he gains a little bit of life for that one. The last attack being blocked. Oh no, for playing a foundation. That's a good once per turn effect. Actually, you know what? She can effectively, so long as she has the right cards in staging area. Oh boy, as long
Oh,
as she has the
this
right cards
one.
in her staging area, she can respond and build down the foundation that she plays, um, even after it being blocked. Right?
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a nifty effect. And definitely helps too in case you need a specific, maybe you need like a buff ability, maybe you need to clear card pool with something, maybe you need to modify a check. You can just build the foundation with Nejire's ability or with one of her pieces. Use that, put it down on the field, buff up your board whichever way you need it. It's definitely a really nice utility piece. Being able to add life as well is just so useful as well.
Yeah, and she's definitely one of the few decks few characters. Or sorry, Jin is one of the few characters that's never blank on his opponent's turn. Like
Oh yeah, never.
he's always going to be doing something on his opponent's turn.
I guess the one way to just I found to get around a Jin is you have to be very smart with your first enhances. So if you
Speed.
find a way to buff the speed or you find a way to bait out their attack,
Alessandro's already at 6 life, and I don't. It appears that he hasn't built a board state yet to deal with all of this aggression from Steven. So he's
hmm
gonna have to start poking back and kind of forcing some of these attacks out of his hand, or unfortunately, the game might be running away from him.
yeah, it's not a surprise with the 7 hand sizer for it to go to less than maybe 5 turns or so. Let's see, which one is this? Could be Save a Million Strike. Let's see that one. Might be an interesting punch card. I'm actually curious. Out of all the new, speaking of girl power, out of all these new sets, which ones do you think is the set, the character card to look out for? I've seen people talk about. Let's see. There's the new Ryukyu, I believe. Yep, there's a new Ryukyu coming out. Another Ochako. That one's always gonna be
Horn Girl.
nice. Ah, Horn Girl.
I
Horn
don't know
Girl.
what she does. Honestly, I just saw the art and I'm like, yeah, just play it. But
Yep.
actually, the only thing I've been really looking forward to is cards that have ranged and weapons, so that I can try to put something into Jester.
Oh yeah, that'll be a nifty effect. I've seen people toying around with the sort of soft loop that the Vox Machina cards have created with the Storm of Arrows effect. I'm fairly certain there is a loop in there somewhere. It's just a little bit of a
Well,
tricksy beast to tame.
they errated it so that it doesn't just like see itself and then clear itself from the card pool.
Ugh.
However, there is there is a bit of a loop, but you just kind of need more spell cards. So he's gonna fail the block here and just and drop himself down to 12 damage, and
Ooh.
I guess end his turn. What?
15 life for the Nejire, 6 life for the Jin. Jin is up. Hmm. Just looking at Steven's
Oh,
board,
he
he's still
cleared the
got.
card when it was after it resolved. Okay.
Oh, he's just building.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is that Nejire isn't gonna attack once or twice. He's gonna attack like 3 or 4 times per turn.
Yeah.
So and he's got momentum, so there's a good chance he's gonna play the card that commits him out as well, right? Like all it takes is for her to play Nejire Wave, and she responds, discard a momentum. He loses three foundations immediately. If he has two of those in his hand, it's kind of just game right there. So I don't know. Well, is just Jin's response? Is it
Oh,
for enhances or responses on attacks?
Jin's response is very finicky. He can only activate it if the opponent's attack is below printed speed. So that actually narrows down his window of opportunity. Say, for example, he takes Enhance, your opponent takes Enhance, and they raise the speed at the same time.
Mm.
Then it just means that you can't use Jin's effect and you have to deal with whatever's coming at you. Yeah.
Oh no, but it's only on enhance ability. So that Nejire attack would pop off, and
Mm-hmm.
like it would come out. It goes to respond. I think he responds to the attack being played,
Yep.
and then he can cancel. No, um, he can't. He can cancel the enhance. She comes out and he loses a card. Did Steven just kind of he just built for his turn, so Alessandro's gonna be able to. He's
Try
gonna
to
be able
push
to
for more
attack.
damage. Yeah.
He's gonna be able to be a part of this game.
Yeah. I guess that's also one of the upsides of playing as Nejire. Even if you have a bit of a dead turn, you'll be taking a lot of damage. You're guaranteed to get at least some of your health back, so you don't really lose. You don't lose too much by having just a full gray grip.
I think he just blocks with the foundation. He gains health. Or is that it
You
still counts
can.
as being played? Does it not?
Oh, that's on a four.
Oh, he
Yeah.
isn't getting the health for playing the block.
Hmm. Yeah, that's something else that. Oh yeah, the way the Nejire's card is worded, you get health if you play, you
Oh
block.
no, he does. Okay, yeah. So he's gonna ready the carbo and then use yeah, and get the pop the card back into his hand.
Yeah, that's gotta be nasty for Jin.
It's annoying.
Yeah.
It's annoying because he's gonna get a card back into his hand, and you're like, yeah, you don't want that. So yeah, I can. I mean, I discovered that the other day when we were playing. I was like, I really rather not have him be doing that. But I mean, it's in the deck.
Hmm.
Incredible display is forever being like starting to become more and more as this we move through these sets as like a strong staple card to have in your deck.
Yeah, between that and the other effects that are beginning to say cancel enhances, prevent enhances, negate your next incoming enhance, you definitely can't just get away with just like spitting out all of your cards, like comboing off, setting up all of your abilities. Now you actually have to consider, okay, how do I bait this? How do I uh, plan my way out through all of these effects that just want to stop what I want to do? It's definitely going to be changing up the meta, especially for people who maybe haven't, who maybe aren't used to having to plan ahead for this sort of, these sort of like high barriers against them. What do you think? You've been playing UVS for a little bit longer. What do you think it's going to look like when players realize they can't just get away with playing all their effects?
Well, the more cards, I've always been of a mind that like you should print answers instead of like you should print answers instead of banning cards. But I
Hmm.
mean, who knows? It's interesting that we got an airstream on here.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if I am I crazy or is Alessandro not playing the response on his character.
maybe his logic is that he doesn't want to mill through all of his deck, but ideally that is what a Jin wants to do. I had a fight against a Jin once, and they cycled their deck twice. I believe that was in our first game, which was extremely agonizing, but also that's kind of what you want to have happen in Jin.
Hmm.
You care about going fast, you have to buff your own speed, negate your opponent's speed, cancel their major enhances, and just don't let them run away.
So we got air steam steam driver is 3 high for 6. Discard one card from your rival's card pool. This attack gets +3 speed and +3 damage. That is really good into Jin because he's gonna make it come for an 8 high for 9. This is kind of rough.
Yeah, that
Looks
is a
like
nasty follow up.
he ended his turn.
Hmm.
So it looked like he blocked it out, and that was just that.
It's actually, yeah, I can see it now with the difference in board state. Jin may be able to neg the speed, but he doesn't have any foundations to affect any sort of change on his opponent's field, whereas Steven's got let's see.
His team he still has the team Mosh card there.
Yeah, he's got a nice array down there. I'm actually curious to see what it'll look like later on when we get more. There are some symbols in here that I probably with Nejire that you probably want to see built on. Like everyone knows that what remind me again. This one is life Nejire, correct?
Yeah, I think we're seeing a life natural versus an air Jin.
Yeah. Air Nejire. There's some probably some symbols on her that maybe aren't as optimal. Her air symbol, her chaos symbol. Actually, now that I think about it, air and chaos are still pretty good, but points for other characters in the sets. It'll be curious to see with a fresh card pool who might get kicked up a couple notches, who might get knocked down a couple. Since every time there's new cards introduced to the pool, we'll see just a new burst of new potential.
And we're starting off with an I won't back down for this attack turn.
Oh yeah, the Juro cards. That's a solid piece right there.
Yep.
Let's
I mean,
see.
it's a good answer too because um, he kind of want the attack to get blocked so that you can draw a card and effectively just put another card in your opponent's card pool. Has a decent deadlock ability, putting more counters on your character. Uh, if you have a counter, you get three of them. But like, I think the more important thing is like if you block it. So it looks like he did, and we just got and well, how did
Yeah,
he gained some help there too. So this is a little bit more back and forth. I'm interested to see how this set is gonna end because I guess I'm not sure how
four,
Steven's deck
eight.
does in a very long game, but longer games with Jin I found are become really grindy. And well, he's only got
Mhm.
three foundations left in his deck, so he's about to deck out too. So I mean,
Yikes.
there goes the bad parts of playing a Jin is if you don't got a big enough deck, you tend to go through it really fast. I've seen these Jin decks go as high as 75, which is an
Whoa.
alarmingly high amount of cards in the deck. However, this is a deck that does self mill, so I mean they are going to be doing things like that.
Yeah, I guess it's that classic risk reward ratio of being a Jin player, trying to figure out, okay, I'm gonna mill out all my good attacks, I'm gonna mill out all of my good utility pieces. If I've got an asset I really need for this matchup, is that gonna disappear on the first cycle? Preferably not, but it, you're gonna be like chewing through so much of your deck for all of its effects. Let's
True.
see, that's another Tornado Fist. Such a good attack, honestly. I can't even be mad at this for just a neat card to play.
And this time he did start off with a response on his character, and he is committing hard to block this. He doesn't want any part of it.
Oh yeah, he just doesn't
And
even
he's
want to
almost at
taste
full
that.
health now.
Oh yeah,
He's gonna use the Carbo to bring the card down, gain life,
I'm pretty
ready
sure.
Carbo.
Is Steven in deadlock? I actually can't tell.
I think what we're seeing a lot more of in this game is people just going into deadlock and like just almost daring their opponent to do something about it. So, but that could change if powerful enough deadlock abilities come into this game.
Mhm.
Like you can't get away with that against a Vile Seasoning deck. You're gonna be -2
Oh
on
yeah,
every card.
absolutely not. Any deck that runs that symbol, you have to remember that is a potential to yeah to have to manage. There's some other effects that I've seen that range from the mildly unoppressive from internet sensation, your next attack it's +1 to the check, to hero killer, all your weapon attacks gaining stun too, which aren't necessarily that great.
And you would know that as a as somebody who does use some stain cards in their deck.
Ah, come on, man. I'm still feeling the burn of losing all the nice balanced stuff from set one.
Nobody shed a tear at the store.
I can't blame them. Yeah, it's annoying. But hey, hopefully I'm crossing my fingers. Maybe I'll find some nice stuff in the new set on balance, or maybe I'll pivot into evil. Evil's been getting spoiled like a bit rotten recently for all the good cards.
We have our first deck out for Jin right now.
Looks to be mostly gray up. That was an attack though.
Yeah, I think the last one was definitely an attack. So oh,
Oh,
there's
there goes
Airy.
an Airy
Airy
Smiles.
Smiles is gone. Well, one
Oh,
less Airy Smiles for Steven to worry about. This attack is kind of ominous. I mean, it comes in the three mid for three. Uh, you know, if it's in your card pool, your rivals. This is good when you if you block with it too, because all your rivals attacks at -2 speed. Um, and then it's enhances if its speed is 5 or more, it gets +2 damage. It is good to block with, and it has an ongoing static effect for the turn, which I like. So as just like a good wind Jin card, it is good.
I'm actually curious. Since this says -2 speed on your opponent's attacks, not on your opponent's and not a more ambiguous wording that would say like, oh, it's only on your opponent's turn
Turn,
that it gets the -2 speed.
right,
Do
for
you think this?
reversals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was reversals. Yeah. You think this would be a useful card against that?
I mean, it does something as opposed to just being a card in your card pool on your
Yeah,
turn if
just
they
a dead
blocked it, right?
piece. Yeah. It's
So again, um, the issue is that we haven't seen. Oh, I think we are seeing it now. I was gonna say we haven't seen a lot of turns versus like a bunch of attacks hitting the board for one player or another, but I think we may be seeing that. Don't like, and they're both like, sorry, Steven is like super into deadlock at this point.
there we go. Let's see. I'm just trying to recall what might be in deadlock on those symbols, but right now it's just drawing a little bit of a blank. Granted, these aren't symbols that I'm as familiar with, so maybe there's some trump card I'm not forgetting.
But we're gonna start off with a signal spiral for this for this turn here, and I think these are kind of more or less the turns where, well, the hands where Steven is maybe seeing more attacks kind of clumped together,
Hmm.
and I think he's probably what I imagine he's waiting for if he gets it is the Nejire's attack that is gonna response commit 3 of his opponent's foundations, and that will, like, at this point that would be at least half of all of the staging, more than half of the staging area for Alessandro is going to disappear at that point, right?
Yeah, and it doesn't
And then
matter how much speed you
the
neg.
Aries smiles, so he's gonna full block
Oh,
that,
yikes.
and then tap a foundation and make sure that Steven has to play a non attack card. But he did block it, so he does get to draw two, discard two. So steady game will freeze now, and we'll have to see a, yeah, no, oh, yeah, no, steady game's supposed to freeze now, and then he, yeah. So I think Alessandro's reminding him that the steady game freezes the second that there's no more deck left. So he's playing through the effect, but a part of the effect had him draw two cards. There's no more. Yeah, there you go.
So
And
then he's
that is
gotta
me
draw,
telling
yeah.
him that.
Yeah, it's like if I've gotta lose 10, so do you.
Yeah. Well, it means that it's good for Steven because it means if he didn't want to lose cards in his hand, it means that those cards aren't going to be a part of the remove from game,
Let's see.
and he's going to leave it on the table. 1, 2. So he does draw. So he has to play a non-attack card.
Let's see here. Reflip over. What's going on?
And yeah, see that foundation he has there is it's kind of like a middle finger to. Um, I mean, it's kind of like a middle finger to Aries Smiles because he'll just play a foundation and pop the foundation down.
Oh yeah, just bring it back down. Again, with Nejire, it's something that I just never expected to see. Just a character that just keeps like consistently gaining up so much life. I think the closest I've ever fought to just a life gain deck like this would probably be Overhaul, but even then, his life gain effect is so supplemental, it's not part of his kit.
Overall, is good on all his symbols too.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
he's gonna throw out another spiral signal again.
Maybe he's
So,
just cycling through his deck
and he
now.
got through the Aries Smiles as well. So immediately, Alessandro's gonna pop him for the 2 speed, and then he's going to. Well, he's now tapped that character, so that is one more card that's not there.
Yeah, that is two, four, six foundations he's got to play with. How many cards do you think he's got in his hand right now? He blocked with one.
Alessandro?
Yeah.
I don't. I think 4. I can't see his hands.
Okay. So let's say he could probably block this upcoming one, but say Steven's got another card in his hand. 12 damage on a Nejire. Do you think he can do that?
Yeah, anything's possible at this point. Because if he has a card that taps out the staging area, then Oh, okay. So he did respond with Team Wash.
Mhm. See.
He's gonna have a use for it. Yeah.
Ah,
So
Team
he
Mashura.
can use the form here to just pull. Sorry, on Team Urameshi, he can use the form on that to just like dig through his discard pile and just pull any card he wants into his deck. That's a card I've definitely considered now to put in Jester because I mean I do lose the momentum to do it, but I can get anything I want from the discard pile without having to like make sure it's a spell, which is kind of important.
Ooh, I think that might be I think that might be the jewel in the crown. Ooh, that's a 3 though. That's nasty.
But he's got a million foundations at this point.
Yeah, I guess that's what he was building towards.
So Spiral Wave, Surge. For those who can't see, we're gonna be fixing these lights here on the next time we start.
Thankfully, it's not too much of a hassle at the moment before. Too bright, too much glare, too dim. Hopefully, we'll hit that Goldilocks zone soon.
Yeah, and it comes in with automatically a minus 3 speed because of Jin's response. Yeah, because his response does go off when he's committed. So where it would have been 4 mid for 4 is just one mid for 4. Lose health, it gets +2 damage. This attack is blocked. Your next check gets +1 for each card your opponent's blocked with. So his opponent has blocked 2 attacks thus far. So he's at least a +2 on his next check, and he's just gonna right away start pumping damage.
Yeah, just hopefully he can just keep climbing the damage, and even if he partially blocks, he'll be taking just a decent chunk of his health.
Well, he's probably gonna block it, but like I think Alessandro knows that, or he has to have a feeling that Steven probably has a really nut attack into his hand, and he doesn't want to just walk right into it. He's gonna
Yeah.
have a +2, so really just a +1 difficulty on it, and he's gonna block with what is it?
Ooh, that is. Oh, is it 7 now? Okay.
Yeah, so it's +2. He did take half damage, and yeah, he uses the Team Urameshi remove, discard a momentum. I don't think there's a card in Alessandro's deck that stops this.
Yeah, there's no can't escape me that he can run right now.
And yeah, there's the card he's been thinking of this whole time. It's gonna have +2 to its check, so it's checking on a 5. He's gonna tap out 3 of his foundations on response. Oh no,
Oh, yikes.
it's fine. You just get rid of that Rameshi card,
Yeah,
and
that's still gonna suck though. 4 attacks, 1 turn. He must be pretty confident that like he can take him out in one good swing.
so he loses all his cards. Jin's gonna respond -2 speed on it.
Let's see, -2 speed. But still, that's effectively with the progressive. That's at least 3 speed he has to get around.
Yeah, Nejire Wave is strong though. Definitely irritating to fight against. To say that much, because like losing 3 foundations, and when you don't have like keeping area safe or something that just readies itself, then like you just have to kind of deal with it.
Hmm.
And he's gonna be able to pump the damage on that. It's gonna be +3 difficulty with whatever Alessandro's. He's
Nope.
like, okay, I'm done. That's what we call game right there.
Yeah, no
He
way to
had 2 of
block
them in
that
hand. Yeah, it
out.
was it was kind of a rough start. Like you have to just like kind of jump on top of Nejire and start hitting her right away.
Hmm.
Like you can't let this character get away with like building up a staging area and attack. Though I do think that Jin can do it. That like that the answer is in the deck. It may be on a different symbol, but Nejire. With that said, Nejire is going to take the first game.
The deceptive thing that I've always found when it comes to decks that base their gimmick off of modifying speed, plusing, minusing speed, is that you'd think that they'd be able to make some really like super fast, hyper aggro decks. No, every single speed deck I've ever fought has been slower than the polarized caps in terms of gameplay. Just slow, monotonous, very methodical gameplay you have to pull when you're playing a character like
Oh, they only
Jin.
played one game.
That'll be interesting. Maybe they decided like we don't want